very beautiful moment in my life.
How much you think his bravado is going to get him knocked out? Because basically, I'm not taking a step back. I'm coming to knock you out. I'm going to test your chin. Stuff he usually don't say before fights.
Yeah, I mean, you seen what happened to Jay Leon Love. I mean, he tried to brawl with me, and you see what happened to him. So I'm not comparing Anthony Dirrell to Jay Leon Love, but sometimes the older dudes want to show that they're the stronger guys, but that's not going to work for me.
Does this fight go the distance?
No, it doesn't go the distance. I'm looking to get a knockout too.
Feel more pressure?
No, I don't feel more pressure. I just feel like if I keep saying stuff, I'm basically trying to motivate myself, to get that knockout. Because I've been talking a whole lot of shit this camp too, so I gotta get that knockout. But I just feel like for the fans, I want them to get the money's worth, and I want to be the fighter of the night come September 28th.
Do you feel like that's the evolution of the superstar because you decided down, you got your diamond, you talked abortion this camp? Do you feel like that's part of the evolution of becoming a star?
I'm just having fun with it. I'm enjoying. I'm making some good money, so I'm just buying nice clothes, nice jewelry. So I don't know if it's the evolution, but I like looking nice now that I'm finally here. So yeah, that's what it is.
You said there's respect there, but is there like an extra added because I know he has your belt. You feel like he has your belt in his hand. How's it gonna feel to walk out?
There's definitely more motivation for me because that's the belt that I had. I've worked very hard to win that belt. For having it lose for something that had nothing to do with boxing, it just there's a lot of anger inside me. I'm gonna let it out Saturday.
You think it'd be emotional when you hear and new?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's always emotional. It ain't like how it was in my first fights, but I gotta take care. I gotta do everything. I gotta work this fight perfect. For me to get that victory. I'm not overlooking Anthony Dirrell. I know it's gonna be a hard night ahead of me. I'm gonna get that victory.
Do you think your youth and your power is gonna get you over the hump? Do you think that's what's gonna get you the W?
It's not, and I don't think it's gonna be the youth and the power, but it's gonna be the game plan we have going on. My game plan has never been just to go in there and just brawl with somebody, just throw haymaker after haymaker. We break them down, and eventually they go out. So we have an amazing game plan set up for Anthony Dirrell, and if the game plan don't work out, we have to adapt to what he does. So we're just gonna be ready for anything.
So are you ready? Are you physically ready for a dog fight in case you don't get the knockout?
Yeah, if I don't knock him out, I'm gonna put a beating on him. You know what I mean? So I'm ready for anything. You see how when I fought Porky Medina, it was a dog fight. He was throwing some big shots, and from round 1 to round 8, it was a brawl the whole fight. So I'm definitely ready for anything. I've been sparring. My last sparring I did was 16 rounds with 4 different guys. They kept coming in fresh back to back. So I'm ready for anything.
David, speak to us about the sparring with Sean Porter. What exactly does he bring that helps you prepare for Anthony Dirrell, or what does Sean Porter bring that helps him prepare for Errol Spence?
Well, when I sparred Sean Porter, it was, he's not as tall or he's not as big, you know what I mean? So, and he has a different style from Anthony Dirrell. So what we did with him, we kind of just try to box. We try to box more, use the jab more, stop him with the jab. And, we both walked away with stuff, because if Anthony Dirrell decides to put pressure, then that was going to be perfect for that. So, and me, if Errol Spence decides to box with Sean Porter, which I'm pretty sure he is, in maybe the couple rounds, then we both have something to work on from there.
You said you had a lot to prove in this fight when you talked to PBC. Tell us what you want to prove to everyone on this fight.
What I want to prove is I want to let everybody know that I'm the best, and that's what I'm gunning for. I want to be the best super middleweight in the world, and that's what we're going to accomplish too.
Now, David, two-part question. David, one, do you think the cut that Anthony sustained in his last fight, do you think it healed properly?
We didn't. I haven't even thought about that. Now that you bring it up, we'll touch it a couple times and we'll see what happens from there. But I'm not worried about the cut. I'm not worried about one specific area. We're going to touch everything. You know what I mean?
And the second part, no disrespect to Anthony, but is Caleb Plant somebody you're thinking about? Maybe down the road?
Definitely. That's a fight we have to get made in the future. Caleb Plant, Colin Smith, Billy Joe Sanders, and if we could get a Canelo in there, then that's definitely fights we want to get. Like I said, my goal is to be the best super middleweight in the world, and that's what we're going to do.
What about Triple G?
Well, Triple G fights at 160, but if he's with Azin, so it's a little bit out of our reach. But if we could get something done right there, then that's definitely something we can do.
Now, David, obviously you just brought up Billy Joe. He'll be fighting at the Staples Center in November. He's also with the Zone. But do you feel like that's a fight that could be made? I mean, because you mentioned Canelo's name. He's with the zone as well. What do you think what do you think will have to happen in order to get those fights made with those fighters across the street?
I feel like what we have to do is, you know, as I feel like the fans are gonna demand it soon. You know, so if I'm the fighter I think I'm gonna be, you know, and the fans want to see me, and it's gonna get demanded, and then it's gonna be easy to be made, like how Joshua was with Reese. You know, there's only so many fights that big star fights that can be made. So, you know, my job is, you know, just to work hard and win these fights, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Now, obviously, a fighter that's not across the street, Caleb Plant, who was mentioned just briefly ago. Today, PBC released a video getting his prediction for the fight. He did, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but he did predict for you to come out victorious. However, he mentioned how he doesn't feel neither fighter is that good. What are your thoughts to his
I feel like
comment?
he's just still mad because only 50 people showed up to his fight at the MGM Grand. So, I mean, if he's a superior fighter, why didn't he have 50 people show up? They couldn't even put him in a co-main event. So he's mad about that. You know, I mean, look at me. My last fight, when I fought, there was 50,000 people there. So, I mean, I don't got to speak on that. You know, the day's going to come, and we'll see who's the best when that day comes.